Hello and welcome to my presentation. I am Pompey Deka, student of MLIC 4th semester, Department of Library Information Science, Guwahati University. Today I am discussing on the topic Developing Digital Library, its planning and implementation. So let's begin. Here we will be discussing the following topics, that is the introduction to digital library, the planning of a digital library, designing of library management system, implementation of digital library system, and the conclusion and references. Introduction. A digital library is a collection of documents in an organized electronic format. It is a network of electronic objects such as text, images, video, audio, files, etc. The main goal of a digital library system is to preserve important documents information for a long period of time. The next is the planning of a digital library. To develop a digital library, there should be a proper planning and design. While designing a digital library, the most important criteria to keep in mind is the information need of the user who may use the library. A proper planning provides a basic structure to the library. There are few aspects which should be checked while creating a digital library. For the first one being the information need. The kind of user and the information requirement is the first and foremost point to keep in mind while planning the digital library. Quality planning. Before we start designing, we must come with a proper planning such as is the project possible, what are the required steps to complete the project, budget and fundings, and other such discussions should be made and answered before we draw the proper planning of the library. Security measures. There must be some predefined laws for users' access to information which they are to be made known or to reduce violation of rules. There should always be a certain backup plan just in case something goes wrong. Infrastructure. To set up a proper digital library, latest and proven information technologies, including the multimedia key, data handling, memory, processing and storage, computer software such as OCR and library application software, etc. are required. Digitization. To make non-digitized library resources such as books, conference, proceedings, journal, etc. available in digital form, instruments such as scanner, printer, camera, etc. have to be present. Access. Authorized users must be given proper access ID and password so that they do not have to face any problem in procuring the information they need. Staffing. The staff of the library must be properly trained to handle the digital library. Human resources, hardware, software, budget, etc. should also be included while planning. The next is a digital library committee. A digital library committee should be formed to plan for its creation and maintenance. The members must be from various library departments and if necessary, consultants can be hired. Next is the designing of a digital library system. To implement a digital library system, the program should be designed in such a way that it would not be hard to implement. The following modules are important necessaries while designing or purchasing of the program. At the administration, a dedicated staff should take care of the administration. Thus, it should have access to all the following operations: the user registration, staff regulation, uploading of electronic resources and archiving of the obsolete electronic books. Search. This is one of the modules that should be made available for the users. In this module, users should be able to search for resources using the digital library softwares. Search should either be carried out by title of the book, name of the author, subject, etc. Archive. In this module, obsolete electronic resources are found. A user can access this module because the users must want to read old books in electronic formats. He can go to this module and execute the search using title or author name. Exit. This module provides a way out of the digital library software. After every transaction, the exit button is used to exit the DLS environment. Next is the implementation. While implementing, the following things are required. First is the database files. This section contains a list of database files and what each database file contains. Admin login. First is the admin login. This allows an administrative personnel to access the system to carry out user registration, staff registration, upload of electronic resources, etc. Next is the choice of programming language. There are a number of programming languages available that will permit a programmer to write instructions to control a digital library. But while developing a digital library, the following should be kept in mind. That is, the language should be user-friendly. It should be able to support multiple files, and it should be flexible, and the storage capacity should be high. Next is the hardware and software requirement. So these are the following hardware requirements, such as a computer, a video graphic adapter, RAM size, hard disk, a printer, etc. Next is the software requirement. An ASP.NET environment. ASP stands for Active Server Pages. ASP is a development framework for building the web pages. Microsoft Structured Query Language, MS SQL. MS SQL Server is a relational database management system developed by Microsoft. Next is the user guide. The program is tested and run separately during designing, and then the whole program are connected and compiled and run. Program documentation involves statement of the sequence of the program, testing, running, and output. Since proper documentation helps the programmer to able to the effect future maintenance of the system, it is wise to document the program. This process is quite lengthy and expensive, but when done properly, yields great results. Program installation. The program document has to be tested and password protected to prevent unauthorized use. A trained personnel should be employed to handle the new system as well as maintain it for hardware installation. So now we end it with a conclusion. From the above discussion, we can conclude that designing a digital library is a pretty hard process and requires proper planning. The most important thing is the information need of the user, and how we are gonna create it and how we are gonna create the library through proper implementation of the planning. The next is designing a library management software which has all the modules required for the housekeeping activities. The last step is the implementation of the library process. Before implementing, we must check that there is a proper database for managing the information, hardware and software setup, and languages. Installation process is done in a proper way, and the faults are removed for well functioning of the library. With this, we conclude the session. These are the references given.
Thank you.